I was like, oh, you cheated on your ex? So what are we gonna do later?
He was like, oh, but I learned my lesson, and I'm like, now I'm not gonna do that going forward. Now, if you tell me that at 43, I'm like, okay, sir, like you've done half your life already. Welcome to the Limitless tribe, where two badass women build businesses, chase dreams, and keep it way too real. I'm Kat.
And I'm Mel. We're the founders of Powerhouse Admins and the Limitless tribe. And we're inviting you into the messy middle, the mindset shifts, and the CEO glow-ups we never see coming.
Now let's get into it.
So today we're talking about something most of us have experienced. Meeting someone, having a conversation, and hearing something that probably should have been a red flag, but instead of listening to it, we explain it away, right? We just forget that even came up and continue on with the conversation. Then later, that exact thing shows up again, and we think, they literally told me this, and they told me who they were their first time, and I just ignored it. So, catching red flags.
Beforehand, not after the
Yes,
fact.
exactly. This can happen in dating, friendships, hiring, and even business partnerships. Have you ever had a moment where someone said something early on and then later you realized that they actually warned you and you didn't pay attention?
A lot. I have had so many. I feel like I got really good at it in relationships. In work, it's less obvious sometimes, but in relationships, I had a lot of first dates because I asked a lot of questions, and then they'd be like, oh my God, I'm terrible with money. One guy told me I'm terrible with money. If I have 5 cents, I'm spending it. I'm like, oh, thanks. That seems like something you got to work on, but I don't want that in my life because I'm pretty good with my money. So everything I would listen, and I was like, nope. So I was like a red flag master, but
I was not.
I'm very proud of that. Listen,
I was not.
That is a superhuman skill to acquire.
Yep. I let a lot of things. I was like, oh, you cheated on your ex? So what are we going to do later?
Well, the reason why I think I got that skill is because the most memorable thing that was said to me, I didn't listen. So it was actually my daughter's dad when I was 18, and we were really young. And he told me, as we're talking and getting to know each other, he tells me he's cheated on every girl he's with. But he's only 18. It's not like now.
Yeah. Like, how many girls could you?
I thought, you're still young, and he was like, oh, but I learned my lesson. And I'm like, now I'm not going to do that going forward. Now, if you tell me that at 43, I'm like, okay, sir, like you've done half your life already. But he was only 18, and, I heard what I wanted to hear. And I was like, okay, he learned his lesson because that's what he said. What happened? Cheated on me. It was like a premonition, or like when people tell you something in advance. So exactly what he said. When we broke up, he had still cheated on everybody that he had been with. And then he ended up staying with the person that he cheated with. He would bring her with all the kids and stuff to see his daughter. And at some point there was another girl. So I always thought he probably cheated on that girl too. That's just who he is.
Exactly.
So from that relationship, I learned so much. And that's why I'm really good with the red flags.
That's great, because I think I was not. I still, the first one screwed me over. I went into the next one and I was like, sure.
I don't know, but I'm always really grateful for that relationship, because as bad as it was, I learned the majority of things from that one. But other times, sometimes it's a gut feeling.
Yes.
So it's not always so clear. Like, they didn't specifically do something. I just have a feeling. And I know we'll talk about that a little bit today, but sometimes it doesn't have facts attached to it. So when you're first trying to trust your gut, you're like, maybe I should give them a chance because they haven't done anything wrong. But something is giving you that gut feeling. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to catch those, because for me in the beginning, I just let everything, I think it was someone had told me one time, oh yeah, all my exes are jerks and this and that. And then now I've come to realize when they say that, well, there's two sides. Is it you? If it's all of them, it's most likely you.
Yes.
You're the issue, right? Not everyone else. So I always try to tell my daughter that, and my stepson, if someone's telling you that everyone that they've been with, or all of their ex-partners have been jerks, or whatever, or even a friend, if a friend is every friend that they have hasn't worked out because their friends are all jerks, or they've turned out to be
everybody has so much drama. I'm like, I'm good. I don't have that much drama. So
Exactly.
you are probably the drama that is attracting more drama.
Exactly.
And with the guys, that's another one. I feel like they always would blame the exes.
Yes.
And I'm like a devil's advocate person. So I'm like, is it really the ex?
Yeah.
Like, what did they do? And what would they say about him, you know?
Yep.
And I know that from being on the other side, like they could be telling them that you're not even together and you really are.
Yep.
So I don't always believe what they say. And I think someone mature would speak about it differently. Would say like, hey, it didn't work out. You know, we weren't right for each other, or we both were growing. Like so many different ways you can say it other than this person is crazy and they were the whole problem and you did nothing. Same with
You're
parenting.
a saint.
Yeah. Same with parenting. Like, you know, having when I was dating, if the person had kids, the only option was for them to be a present dad.
Yes.
If they are not like a really present, good dad, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That's how I felt the same way. Like if we were going to, you know, go out, whatever, and you told me that you had kids but you weren't, I noticed that you weren't available for your kids or you just never had them. They weren't ever with you.
Yes.
That's a problem.
And I know that some women make it really difficult. And I have seen it where the guy is fighting in court, but that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I want you trying.
Like, oh, she doesn't let me, and then you know I just can't. No, you better figure it out. You fight for the kid.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I don't think.
Yeah, and I think just being coming from being a single mom, I always try to side with the mom. Because I know that we have it difficult and I know that we've been through a lot and, you know, things aren't easy and we're trying to raise our children. Usually we are the ones that are more present and we're the ones that are most there and have to deal with all of the things. So I always try to be like, you know, give her some compassion. But it is difficult. Sometimes they don't make it easy either.
Yeah, you know? But I want to see that it's really
exactly
not making it easy and that you are fighting it.
Yeah.
Not that you've just given up.
Yeah, agree.
So yeah, that's another one. And like you said, if everybody's the problem, it's probably you. So there's this idea in psychology, which I love and fully agree with, right? And it's a big in psychology and personal growth that says when someone tells you who they are, believe them. Yes. Don't try to make them into something else. Don't try. I think sometimes we make up this potential.
Yeah. Or try to fix them.
Yes. Oh my God.
Guilty.
Please. I did for a while, and I never went into psychology, guys, but that was my dream career when I was younger. So I think that led into dating, where I liked to fix people. But there came like a year, I don't remember when that was. I think it was like late 20s, early 30s, where I was like, you know, I've done my community service.
Yeah.
I have put in my time. I have done the work. I have helped people. I'm done.
Yeah.
And no more helping. Like, you got to come decent. We can still grow together, but it can't be like where I need to fix anything. Like, I need to like
you need to work on yourself.
Yeah. And be actively doing it, not me hope that you get to do that. So, you know, they're going to tell you. We just try to make excuses and we try to think that they're not saying the truth or they don't believe themselves. Like all these different scenarios that we make up. But people really reveal a lot through their comments, the stories or complaints, even jokes, and through their actions.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will say one thing and do another, and that tells me that there's something's not true there, you know? So those moments are going to give you the clues and are going to show you the patterns of who this person really is. And this is something, again, like I really truly believe, I live by. I don't want to convince people. Like if you tell me something, I believe you. That's what it is. And it's made a huge difference in who I am and who I accept in my life, whether it's relationships, whether it's work, whether it's friendships. I just don't want anything negative or problematic or dramatic. And I listen for that stuff when I meet people. So do you think that people reveal a lot about themselves? Like, what do you think is more common? That they reveal a lot about themselves or that they hide more than we realize?
I think they reveal a lot about themselves usually in conversations or just like even like that joking thing that you said, like sometimes they're like, haha, and they like make a comment, but then they're like, it was just a joke. Like I was just kidding.
Yeah.
But then it's truth behind it, right? And they always say like take like a certain percentage of that joke is actually true and you should take it as truth. And I used to not believe that. I'd be like, no, but they're probably, because I'm just kidding about stuff like, so they're probably, but there is truth to things that people say and we just don't catch it because we want to believe so much that they're good or that this is going to work out or that there's potential here and there's really not.
Yeah.
So I think there is a certain amount that hide things because I think people sometimes don't want you to know like their deep, dark secrets. I think there's certain things like if it's somebody that's bad with money, they don't want you to know that. They want to try to show you that they're okay and stuff like that, and that they're good with money and that they can manage their money, but then later on you kind of notice patterns and you're like, So I feel like that they might hide more, but stuff about like their exes and like how their relationships have gone and if they've cheated and who's the crazy one, I think that they reveal in certain things that they tell you, but we kind of push it to the side.
So I think both can and are true. So yes, people hide a lot of things, not everybody, but some people, and some people are extremely skilled and you would never know. Like even if you're good at this, like sometimes you're still surprised. But I think that people hide the big secret, but what they reveal, it might not be the big secret, but it's like little things about what they say that hint at the pattern. So it's not like, so like if you're like that guy, you know, the cheater, he was just, you know, but most people, I think it's more like hints. Like they might say they have a ton of money, but then they mention they have a few bills past due right now and they're just behind. And I don't know, like I don't know how to explain. Like it might not be exactly they're revealing their direct truth, but they're revealing little things
parts of it
that will hint. And, and then those patterns are going to tell you, okay, this probably means something here. So like I don't think they're intentionally revealing it. They want to keep it a secret, but because it's in their life and it's a part of their life, it's going to come out at some point. So in little things that they say. Yeah, I could see that. Something interesting happens with red flags, right? Most of the time we don't actually miss them. We do notice them, but then we override them because we want the outcome, right? We want the relationship to work. We want the friendship to work. We want to hire the person because we really liked, I don't know, something about them. That maybe they came in with a really pretty lip gloss, or, you know, we like their tie or their personality. So we're like, oh, they're so charismatic. And then, you know, we want that to work out. So we explain that red flag away, right? We try to just, you know, push it to the side. We don't really listen intently like we should and really catch it and say, oh, this is a problem, let me move on. We go, okay, let's give this a try. Sure, you're hired. And that becomes a problem later on. Even for clients. Sometimes, you know, we get good feelings. And, you know, what you were mentioning before about trying to fix them. I feel like that's like a very, I don't know if guys have that too, but like a very woman thing.
It is.
And I don't know why, but you can't, I don't know if you're here and you're listening to us, you probably are working on yourself, I would think, right? And you're wanting to be a better version of yourself and to work on yourself. And it's hard. Yes. Even when you want to, when you say, I want to do this and I want to become that, but I'm here, it's hard for you to change yourself. So it's impossible to change other people. You can, you know, mentor them. You could be an example. You could inspire them. But those are all maybes. It still would require a lot of work on there and for that to actually work. So you never want to go in with wanting to fix a person. You want to fall in love with who they are right now. If something got better, amazing. But you have to love who they are at that moment.
It's funny because my mom just mentioned this the other day. We were talking, you know, she was talking with her sister. My aunt was there. I was there, my sister-in-law. And she had been in a relationship. Now she's in her 70s and was in a relationship after my father passed away. And she was dating this guy. And he wasn't the person that I would have imagined her with, I guess. Just very, very vanilla, I would say. Very bland, right?
Yeah. And her mom is super lively and energetic and fun.
And loving and like, you know, charismatic. And he was very bland. And she said something the other day. She said, oh, but I thought I could, because someone said, how did you last so long with him? Because I think they were together for like 7 years. And he was not lovey-dovey, and she's very touchy-feely and wants to like take care of you. And he was just very like seco, dressed dry. And my aunt said, I can't believe, like, how did you last so long? And she goes, I thought I could change him. And I was like, even in your 70s, you're still trying to change people. This is no, we can't change people. They are who they are. You know, they have to want to change themselves. You can't want to change for them. It's not going to work.
And I wonder, like, if you go into a relationship not in love with who they are, but in love with who you think they could be and wanting to change them, do you even love that person?
Exactly.
Because it's not, you love who you think they could be, who you are picturing, but you don't really love who they actually are.
And I tried to tell her, because I was like, but he told you from the beginning who he was. Like, he did not. Because she was like, no, because I feel like he used me and I feel like this. And I'm like, how? And she's like, because I'm so caring and he liked that about me. And I was like, yeah, because that's who you are. But he
never
told
said he was
from the beginning. He told you who he was.
Yeah.
He was dry from the beginning. We all saw it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just funny.
So don't waste 7 years.
Don't.
Like, first, you should try to notice that on the dates if you can.
Yes.
But if you do start dating someone, don't let it go past a couple months before you realize who they are and if it's a right fit or not.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
So intuition, right? Like you were saying, most of the time our intuition is going to notice something before our brain really processes it. And that's the gut part I was saying. Sometimes I might feel like a discomfort or something feels off or it doesn't quite add up. Like you're saying all the right things, but something doesn't connect. I don't know, or it doesn't feel genuine. And your nervous system is processing that information sometimes separately from your logic, and your logic hasn't like caught up, right? Or sometimes it's just the facts aren't there. It really is literally just a feeling. Have you ever had that moment where you couldn't explain something fell off, but then later you realized you were right? Did you notice it and stop, or did you keep going because you thought it was?
I'm guilty of noticing it and continuing on, but still feeling like something could, something's not adding up in the conversation. Like, you're telling me one thing, but I'm feeling something else. But then I go and I continue on. And then later on, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. Like, I knew it. I felt it, but I just didn't really listen to myself. So I think I've had both.
Yeah, I think I've had both too, because sometimes it's happened to me where like the person either dating or at work, they seem good, especially dating, because sometimes you want the good guy, but you're not giving the good guy a chance. So I'd be like, this seems like a good guy. Everything he's saying, and but something is not right. And eventually the vibe was just not it. So I had to end it. But then I would feel guilty that I'm like, I can't even give the nice guy a shot. And then a little bit later, if we stayed friends or something that came up later in a different way, it would confirm that it was good I got out. So as I've gotten older, I feel less guilt, and I trust that for some reason, like something doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I definitely, as I've gotten older, try to trust my gut more. So like even in like friendships or things, like when I meet someone new, if something doesn't sit right with me, because I don't have a lot of friends. So I have like my close friends and that's really it. But if I meet someone like anywhere and then like something just doesn't sit right, I'm like, stay away. Like maybe this isn't a good fit. You don't need this friend. We're good. We can just continue on, because
you could feel that it's like there's
like an energy or something that's just not matching, And I try to just listen to myself a lot more, because I am older, and I think that with age does come all that wisdom, and you realize things as you were younger that you didn't pay attention to, and now okay, well, I should have been listening to that all along.
Yeah.
So
I think you got to do both, because at work, for example, when we're hiring people, we look for certain skills and certain experience, but it's also how I feel about this person. Do they give the right energy? Do they have the right ideas about life and work? Because you could have all the right skills, but when they say certain things about how they work or different jobs they've had or things like that, it also comes up.
Yeah, or they're like, oh yeah, like all my ex-bosses, they were micromanagers and they were this. I'm like, if it's all of them, or you just don't like to be managed at all.
Triggers me.
It does, because I feel like everyone we've asked like has a different definition of micromanaging. And I'll be like, well, what's your definition of that? And then they're like, oh, well, they wanted to like, make sure that I was doing this, and that. And I'm like,
so you're managing your job, like,
okay.
Yeah, that word it triggers me, because I do know that there are some micromanagers that even though you're skilled and you're excelling at your role, they're still nitpicking everything, or maybe they don't let you put in a little bit of your own self into this role. But managing in general could feel like micromanaging, because we're not going to just give you a task and like let you go and hope for the best. Like, we're going to make sure you're doing it right. We're going to coach you. We're going to help you improve. So if that feels like micromanaging to you, then you'd have to work alone.
Exactly.
That's not the job for you. So that's one that like we always like.
With the interviews, I'm constantly like, I don't know about this. you can really see this clearly in dating, right? Someone might say, my ex was crazy. I love this one. My ex was crazy. All my relationships end the same way. I'm not great at commitment or communication, right?
Sometimes, oh my gosh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Ladies, if they say I'm not great at commitment, I'm sorry to hear that.
I know.
Next.
Unless you're not looking for commitment.
Yes.
Then you just need to move on because that's not going to work.
It's the end of the sentence.
Oh my Lord. So sometimes we assume they just had bad experiences, right? And we just let it go. But sometimes they're actually describing a pattern. So when you hear things like that, right? Do you take them seriously, or do you sometimes question, like, or is something you question?
You know, sometimes it's very clear. Like if you said, I'm not great at commitment, that's very clear.
Yeah.
You are letting me know up front. Thank you so much. Like that's end. But sometimes they'll say other things that aren't clear, but I'm like, So then I'll ask like clarifying questions. I don't remember the details, but I'll never forget this one guy, super good looking. We were talking. I'm not sure if we ever met in person, if it was over the phone or in person, but I remember that first conversation. I think it might have been like a first date. And I don't know how it led to it, but I remember telling him, I always ask about exes. I kind of want to know how it ended. And I kind of want to know, did you learn anything from that? Did you grow? Like the way it ended says a lot about you, regardless. I asked him, and he had been talking to a girl recently. And the way that he spoke about the girl, I'm like, it kind of sounds like you're still into the girl, like you still, like you're regretting you didn't like try to connect with the girl. And the guy was so like thrown off, like, oh my God, I think you're right,
maybe I am.
And he was, and I don't know if he ever like tried to go back to the girl or not, but that was it for me. I'm like, well, it sounds like you got some unfinished business there, because the way you talk about her sounds like you still like her. So you're welcome for the free therapy, but just one session, and that's it.
We're not going to make this multiple.
No.
But yeah, the all my exes are crazy. Like, I feel like that's something that so many people say. And I'm like, at this point in life, I don't know. I'm like, it just bothers me. I'm like, really? Do people still fall for that? Like, it's all your exes? And then I go, yeah, because I did back then. So I'm pretty sure that people still do, you know?
Especially, I wonder, like, I mean, the crazy exes, because even if they really were all genuinely crazy, proven, what's wrong with you that you are attracting all these crazy women? Exactly. Because you either like it or something's happening. Also with crazy, like with guy friends, right? They're like, oh, this girl's crazy. I'm like, that they're dating. I'm like, but has she always been crazy, or did it happen after something?
Yeah.
And it's
what
always
triggered
like,
it?
No, I never did anything. I'm like, you never, ever did anything? Well, like in the very beginning, this one time I cheated. I'm like, well, that's why she's crazy.
Exactly.
So you like, it's there. You triggered it. You know, some people can come with baggage, but like, I feel like a lot of times they did something, and that's why the girl reacted crazy like that.
Exactly. Now you're just labeling her as crazy, but you shouldn't have cheated on her.
Yeah.
So
you triggered the crazy. That's your fault. So in business, this happens too, right? And I don't know why for me relationships was easy, because I did so many first dates and I was like, nope. But in hiring, you know, it's very similar to me. Like an interview is like a first date. The first date is like an interview. I'm trying to see if I want to hire you to even go through our training program and like start with us, right? So with interviews, somebody might casually say something like, oh, like what we were talking about, like not liking micromanagers.
Yeah, 'cause I heard that a lot in the interviews, and I'm like, what is that? Yeah, it's annoying.
I don't really like structure. Like, you could like a little bit of freedom, but saying specifically, I don't like structure. That's like the commitment one. Like that is, you need some structure in any kind of job, right? I struggle with deadlines.
Yes.
I have a hard time with feedback. That's a huge one for me, because everything around our business and management runs on feedback.
Yeah.
So if you have a hard time getting feedback, not only are you not going to be able to grow, but there's a good chance you're going to want to quit, or you're going to take something negatively and not make that change. But I feel like the most skilled people, or like the best people, are not the ones that are most skilled. It's the one that can take the feedback and apply it. Because you can start at zero, get a feedback, improve. Get a feedback, improve. Get a feedback, improve. Versus someone who might already be here, but that's it. Like they can't judge on anything else because anything would upset them.
Yeah.
So sometimes we think that it won't be an issue, or we could work around it, or, you know, our feedback is delivered nicer than maybe what they're used to. But I think they would know that usually.
Yeah.
Or they can say, hey, like this is how I prefer to receive feedback, versus saying I have a hard time with feedback in general.
Yeah, if they give some context to it and like what they've done to improve, or what type of feedback, right? Like I think a lot of people in our interviews have said, if you just don't like my personality, like you just criticize who I am as a person, that's not the feedback I want to hear. I want to hear feedback about like my performance and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that anyone would do that. Because I feel like that's odd that you would just be like, oh, I don't like your hair color. I don't know.
No. But I think certain jobs, I would ask more questions for that one. Because the hair doesn't matter, right? But for example, certain customer service jobs, oh, it's because she's just a really shy, introverted person. I get it. I have been there. But if I took this job, I got to act. And I have to turn it on and deliver the way it needs to be delivered. You know, I can't be flat, monotone, because that's my personality. I get that's your personality, and either you stick with that and you get jobs that don't require you to speak to people, or if you take a job that requires you to speak to people, you have to adapt to that role.
Yeah, be extroverted at that moment.
So certain pieces of personality are necessary for the job, and it doesn't have to be your personality, but you need to be able to display it in the job.
Yeah.
So that's like I would dig into that one. Like, what was it that they were, or maybe you're just very chill and nonchalant, which means you missed all the deadlines, you know?
Yeah. No, then that's a problem.
Okay, I guess that's your personality, but
it
doesn't apply to the job. It doesn't work with the job. So anytime you like sometimes disregard that stuff, we notice like when we hire people and there's like we were iffy on something in training, sometimes it comes up, or in when they start working, it'll reveal itself with what we were not sure about in that interview. And also with training, for me, it's also like those beginning months that you're dating people. I feel like it's the honeymoon phase. So if you're not excellent in training, and not that you know everything, but that you're trying your hardest, you're taking feedback, you're learning, you're putting in the effort, you're showing up, you're going to be worse.
Yes.
Because this is your best. Like you just got a job, you're trying to impress.
Yeah, you want to look good.
Yes. Later, when you're a little bit more on your own and you're a little bit more comfortable, things might dip a little bit. So if it's already bad right now, it's really not gonna get better. So we try to make that decision a lot in training.
Yes.
Have you ever experienced or remember in our business where somebody told us their challenge in the interview, and then later it showed up in training or in hiring them?
Yes. So I listened to an interview once, and the girl said, or the woman, she said that she was a procrastinator. But so right there, I was already like, oh, we should just move on, right? And I was about to just like not even continue listening, because I was like, procrastinator, like you have to get your work done on time. You can't be waiting till the last minute. But then she said, but I learned that about myself, and I've implemented different things to help me, get things done on time, and I put things in my calendar, and I make sure that I give myself early deadlines. So I was like, oh, okay, this could work. So I let her through, and then she didn't pass training. Because she was like the last one to get the reports done, the last one to get and I was like, well, this makes sense. The deadlines. So
Wow.
I was like, I guess I should have taken that for what it was worth. But I figured, the fact that she had implemented different things, I was like, okay, then this could work out. No, it didn't.
Yeah. I get why you would have given them a chance, because they said they know it about themselves. Just being aware is
exactly, it's a big thing.
Then she implemented things to fix it. But I wonder if it's so structured where it would have to be like where she's in a role, and like these are like 5 routine things that you do, versus like with us in training, maybe you don't have a routine. So she had no structure. Yeah. And then even after training, like our roles, there's some stuff that's routine, and there's some stuff that just comes at you. Like she would never be able to keep up with those.
But I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So
we had one actually recently that if we let go of somebody or they didn't make it through training, like for reasons that they weren't trying, we don't let them back in, right? Mm-hmm. Like if we let 1 or 2 people back in where we really liked their personality, they seemed like they really tried, but they didn't pass like the testing of it and they wanted to try again, they do it on their own time. We don't pay for training again. And we've given them another chance. Generally has not worked.
No, but it hasn't.
This particular girl, we didn't notice because this was way before Mel. This was like 2 years ago, I think. I don't remember the person. And then in training, they're having some difficulties with paying attention and the effort piece and things like that. So that triggered my one of my trainers to remember her because that was the same issue in the first training. And after they talked to her, she got a lot better. And they were like, listen, she was already in training. So they're like, we'll give you a chance, but like, this is not something we normally do. And we gave her a couple chances. Me and Mel both talked to her separately because our gut kept being like, something's not right. Something's not right. As soon as even after the training talk, Mel and I separately talked to her. She's good at that interview part, right? Like that conversation, she convinced me.
I feel like she could spin a conversation. She can talk to you and convince you that no, like she's good and things are good and she's going to be a great admin and she's going to jump in and help.
Yes,
I don't know.
but it's just that one. So it would be like a first date. But now by date 2, they already fell off. So as soon as we put them on a team, not paying attention, low effort, like all the same things that they already showed us.
You can also notice patterns in friendships, right? So pay attention if someone constantly talks bad about others. I know we've all had that person that, everyone else is drama, everyone else is the issue. Or if they have constant conflict with everyone, never take accountability for anything, and thrive on drama. Eventually, that same pattern will most likely show up with you. You're going to see the same things. Do you think that people sometimes ignore those signs because the person is so charismatic or fun? Or you think that they think their relationship is different?
I think it's like a combination of things, right? Like people usually that talk bad about others, that have the conflict, the drama, I think it could feel exciting, like with dating, like that person is fun and like the bad guy, So I think they're attracted to that fun part of it. A lot of times it's hard to make friends. So you are trying to make it work, just like work or relationships, right? And then it's back to the fixing. Like they think I'm different. Like they had drama with all these people, but it's not going to be like that with me. Or she talks bad about every single person, but
what is she going to talk bad about me about,
No, but we're close. Like she didn't do that to me. So you think you're like the exception instead of the rule.
Yeah.
Or usually you're the rule. I agree. Listening to the red flags is not judgmental. It's a superhuman skill. It's very good. Highly recommend you get that.
I do think that. I think you should get good at that. I do like even when we were dating later on in life, like I would go on a date and I would probably go on a second date with a guy, even though the first date was kind of like, I'd give him another chance. Kathy would be like, X,
I'm already done.
Like, he told me this, I'm out. Like, and I'd be like, what? She's like, I'm not trying to fix anyone. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
And like, it wasn't until just recently that I'm like, you know what? I think I have a good instinct because friends will tell me, right? And I'm always the nope, next, nope, leave them, nope, next. And I'm like, am I like a blocker? Like, do I not want anybody to have good relationships? Maybe I'm the problem. But recently a friend told me some things, right, about somebody I always ask her, I'm like, give me the rundown, like everything, age, kids, family, exes, how long, okay, what do you do? Okay. And she gives me the whole rundown and I'm like, I don't think this is going to work out. And I don't think these things are going to change, right? But she's already invested a little time in the guy, so she wants to give him a chance and she wants to have a talk with him. I'm like, it's 2 months in. I'm not having any talks. Like, you better be wooing me at 2 months. I mean, talks like for you to change? No. And then they tried and then the ending was exactly what he was like hinting
at the whole time.
And I was right. So I was like, you know what? Maybe they're just all sucky and I have a good instinct. I don't know. So it's a very good quality to have if you can catch those red flags, because you're going to clean up your life a lot and have better people that join your life in different areas, right? And everybody has flaws. So it's not that they would have a flaw that is the problem. And some people are working on those flaws and some people are not. So I think that makes a difference. And also a pattern. And I think there's a difference between a flaw and like, I don't know, like there's things that are just deal breakers.
Yeah.
Like commitment. If that's something that you want, then that's not going to work because you already are like not matching. Kids.
I was just going to say kids is a big one.
Yeah. Like even marriage. Like Those are all like kind of deal breakers. Finances is a big one, right? If you know, we both have husbands. Are they annoying sometimes? Absolutely. I tell him all the time. But it's, you know, little things. It's not anything.
I'm not.
You're awesome. But it's, you know, things that you're okay. Not that you want to change the person, although it would be nice, right? Certain things, but you're okay with it. It's just things that you can accept.
Exactly.
It's not major like personality traits.
Yeah.
So the discernment is going to mean paying attention to what people show you over time and believing that, not trying to change it into something that it isn't. And you have to determine what you're willing to accept, because also things like, for example, like the commitment thing, it's not that not being good at commitment is bad, because if I'm looking for something casual, perfect. That's exactly what I want to hear.
Exactly.
And you just told me the right thing. But if you tell me that you're bad at commitment and I'm looking for marriage,
This isn't going to work.
that's it, you know? Or I know both of us did, but like when I would date people, I would ask people early on about kids and marriage.
That's like my first question.
Yes.
Do you want to have more kids? Or like if they already had kids, or do you want to have kids?
Yeah.
And if they said yes,
Yeah.
we're not a fit.
There's no fix there,
You know?
And I don't want to change somebody's mind about that. That's a very, I don't know, that's a very strong thing.
But if you say, if you don't want to have kids and the person says yes, and you're like, oh, okay, let's go on another date and let's just keep this going and see where it goes.
Why people do that.
I don't either, because that's a huge one. Like, it's a big no for me. Now, if you're on the fence and you're like, I could possibly one day want to have kids, but I'm not sure, and he says yes, then you kind of got to figure it out.
That one is scary to me. I had an ex who was indifferent, which to me that's safer. Like if he was okay if he had kids, but if he never had kids, he was fine too. So that is good. If you're not sure, that makes me nervous, because what if you are sure 3 years from now?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm sure now.
You have to get unsure real quick.
Yeah, so that was a big one. And then marriage, people would always be like, I just met this girl one date and she's already talking about, I'm not saying, and I would be like, I'm not saying I want to marry you, but I am dating to marry. And I don't know if this would ever be that, because I'm very picky. But if you know you for sure never want to be married, because some people, as you get older, everybody was divorced and some were traumatized. So if you know you for sure never want to get married, then I'm not the person, because I definitely want to get married if I find the right person.
Yeah. I think that was another one. Like when I was younger dating, I didn't care to get married. So I was like, I don't want to get married ever. I used to say, I don't ever want to get married. So I'm good if the other person doesn't want to get married, because that's not something I want in my future. And then as I got older, I started being like, oh, I do want to get married. I changed my mind. I do. So then it was something that,
like between, you know, like not, because I think it's hard. Like imagine you were in a 10-year non-marriage relationship, and now
I want to marry.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
How do you balance being compassionate, like towards people, whether it's work, friends, you know, or relationships, but still protecting your peace?
So I think like even with friends that we currently have, obviously you're always going to have someone that you don't kind of vibe as much with, or maybe they're a little irritating or a little too much. I feel like as long as I can just stay away as much as possible, like I can talk to you and we can hang out on a minimum basis, but I need my time and I need to like let you go and be like, this isn't someone that I can hang out with a lot, because I don't know, I just don't want that energy. I don't want that around me, you know?
And I think in your situation, sometimes those relationships come with, they're linked to other stuff, you know, because for me, I'm a little bit like stricter. Like I don't even want to hang out a little.
Yeah, I know. Kathy's on the other spectrum. She's like, no, if I don't like you, or if like this energy isn't good, I don't even want to be around you once. Like we're good. I don't need to be around you.
I mean, I sometimes like if I have to, because it's a friend group, I will, but it's like it's a broader thing. It's not very common. And if I could prevent it, I will, because life is short. Like I don't want to hang out
spend my time doing these things. I know.
And I think the compassionate part is you're not going out there and telling, for example, like the commitment person, that they're terrible and wrong, or like the person that doesn't want marriage. Like I don't want to convince them that they should be married, or kids. I don't want to convince you. So it's not that you're going to be mean to the person or tell them that they're flawed or broken or damaged, or, you know,
not at all.
I notice your patterns, you know, it's just like,
you are a bad person and we're going to sit down and discuss everything that you need to fix in your life.
Oh my God,
that would be hilarious.
I've considered it, but I don't do that. So then I'm just deciding, you know, it's my decision to just decide if I want to be here or not.
Exactly. So ignoring early signals can lead to obviously wasted time. Like, even my mom, that's one of the things that I had told her, you're in your 70s. Like, why are you wasting your time with someone that you don't want to be with, or that isn't aligned with the things that you like? Like, you're too old for this. And she's still like vibrant for her age, but you're in your 70s. Like, at this point in your life, you don't need to deal with those things anymore. You just need to move on. So, they lead to emotional stress, difficult work environments, right? Like, if you're dealing with someone at work, or you hired someone that, didn't turn out to be the right person, and now you have to deal with this every day until you figure out, like, even letting them go is probably going to be an issue, right? Or something that you don't want to do. And unhealthy relationships. So now you're somewhere that isn't right for you. Often later we look back and we realize the signs were always there from the beginning, but we didn't pay attention to them.
So remember, we want to find the signs beforehand so we're not catching them after.
Yes.
And we save us the time. And sometimes the biggest red flag isn't even what someone says. So it's what we feel. Remember, how does that person make you feel in their presence? Did something they say sound right but sit wrong with you? If your inner voice is saying this doesn't feel right, there's probably a reason, and you sometimes just want to trust it. And if you could monitor it after, like you have them on Facebook or whatever, and it confirms it helps.
Because then you're like, yeah, I was right.
It's happened to me a few times, and that's helped me trust my gut a little bit more, because in the moment I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, this is what's happening, but I'm feeling this. Like, I feel bad making a decision when I feel like I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But later it's come out that I was right. So just trust your gut. There's a reason why you're feeling that way. And even if you don't know what it is, why would you want to be in something where it doesn't feel right?
Exactly.
That's enough.
Exactly.
You don't need it more. That's just enough. So learning to trust that voice is super powerful. Do you think intuition has gotten better over the years? Is it just the years, or is it something you've done differently?
I think with experience, everything, right? As you get older, from all the things that you've had happen in your life, you start to learn and you start to say, oh, this is a pattern. This is something I can trust. So definitely my intuition, my gut instinct is something that has gotten more aggressive throughout the years, and something that I can definitely trust more. And I say, oh, nope. Let's move on from this. Let's not deal with this. If like someone comes around and they're, that we might run into, and they start talking to us and telling us something, and I'm like, this guy's full of crap. Like, this person, no, not someone I want to hang out with. Like, oh, not someone that I need to be around. It's definitely something from experience.
Yeah.
So many times the red flags were never hidden, right? We just didn't want to see them. But when you start paying attention to patterns, accountability, and consistency, you make better decisions about who you allow in your life, your business, and your inner circle. Your time, energy, and peace are valuable. And I definitely agree with that as I've gotten older. Like, I don't want to deal with certain things anymore. I don't want to deal with drama. I don't need drama in my life. I'm too old to be worrying about that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just want to have a nice, relaxed, peaceful life. I know things are going to happen at work and business. Those are just normal. Things are going to happen in life. But if I can avoid or like bringing more of that into my life, I'm going to do it, because now's the time to just not have any of that.
Yeah. I think you value the time more as you get older.
You do.
You know there's less of it. Like when you're 20, you just feel like it feels unlimited. But when you're a little bit older, it's not that it feels close, but you're just more aware how valuable time is.
Oh yeah. I look back now at some of the things that I dealt with in my life, like in past relationships, and I'm like, why did I put up with that? What was wrong with me? Like, how much better is my life now that I don't have to worry about any of that stuff? But it's just funny because I'm like, what was I doing?
Well, when you were talking about the intuition, I was thinking, like, everybody has intuition, right? And I do think that women's are stronger, and it is a superpower. But for some reason, as we grow up, we get disconnected from it, right? Not everybody, but a lot of us. And it's like it's on mute. Like, you don't even hear your gut at all, and you're going blind. And then as you get a little bit older and you're learning, like, you start to hear your intuition a little bit more, and that's where you're doubting it. You're like, and you question it and you don't follow it. And then you learn your lesson. You're like, oh, I should have listened like that. Exactly. And you start to learn. And I think that as you learn, maybe your intuition becomes louder.
Yeah.
Because now someone's listening and paying attention. So
you're connecting more to it.
Like you're connected to the channel and you like hear it more,
Yep.
So work on it. It's something that is super powerful for you to have on your side. And if this episode resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe, and share it with somebody that doesn't always have these conversations in their life, or is looking for this kind of conversation or opening or lesson. I think it could be really useful to a lot of people. And join us next time. We're going to talk about what happens when your identity hasn't caught up to the level you've reached in life and how that feels. So as always, until next time, your life, your rules, stay limitless.